Ballyclare District Historical Memorial Association. The IRA and their cowardly use of human bombs. When we hear of suicide car bombs, we automatically think of conflicts in Iraq, Afghanistan, Palestine, the Islamic states, where terrorists volunteer to die in the hope of martyrdom. Yet everyone seems to have forgotten that the IRA used these same tactics in their proxy bomb campaign, except due to their cowardice, none of their own members would volunteer to carry out these horrific acts. Instead, the IRA would kidnap and use innocent civilians. The IRA used a tactic called proxy bombing. This involved forcing innocent human beings to drive car bombs to British military targets, while their families were held hostage by the terrorists. The bombs were designed to go off when the drivers opened their doors or when a timer ran out, ensuring they had no way of escaping. The IRA used this tactic mainly against people who worked for or served the British forces, whom they considered traitors. On October the 24th, 1990, the IRA carried out 3 synchronized proxy bomb attacks at Coshquin near Londonderry, Clog near Newry, and the third in Omagh. The Coshquin attack was the deadliest, killing the driver, Patrick Gillespie, and 5 soldiers. 1 soldier was killed at Clog, and the human proxy survived. At Omagh, there was no fatalities due to a faulty detonator. All 3 of the men used as proxy bombers were Catholic. Although 2 of the men were innocent civilians, the 3rd man was a low-life, low-level member of the IRA. The Coshquin attack involved 11 members of the IRA's Londonderry City Brigade. They targeted Patrick Gillespie, a 42-year-old Catholic who worked as a cook at the Fort George British Army base in Londonderry. Patrick had been warned by the IRA to quit his job or face the consequences. Horrifyingly, the IRA had kidnapped Patrick's family before and used him as a human bomb, but he had managed to shout and alert everyone to what he was driving, and thankfully that bomb failed to go off. On the night of the attack, the IRA terrorists took over Patrick's home, holding his family as hostages, and forced him to drive his car to a place near the Irish border. Here, they switched him to a van with £1,200 of explosives. They chained him to the seat and told him to drive to the Coshquin border checkpoint on Buncrana Road. The terrorists followed him in another car to ensure he carried out their orders, and 4 minutes from the checkpoint, they armed the bomb remotely. When Patrick reached the checkpoint at 3:55 a.m, he tried to get out of the van and warn everyone, as he had done before, but tragically, the bomb exploded as soon as he opened the door. The bomb had been linked to the vehicle's interior light, which came on when the door opened. It was also set on a timer to ensure it went off at the right moment. Patrick Gillespie, Private Stephen Beecham, Private Vincent Scott, Private David Sweeney, Private Paul Worrell, and Lance Corporal Stephen Burrows from D Company, 1st Battalion of the King's Regiment, were killed instantly by the blast. The checkpoint and the army base were destroyed, along with several armoured vehicles and 25 homes. If it had not been for a newly built mortar-proof bunker in which other soldiers had been sleeping, the death toll would have been much higher. The Clog attack involved members of the IRA's South Down Brigade and South Armagh Brigade. They targeted James McAvoy, a 65-year-old Catholic man who ran a filling station that served the RUC in Newry. While James's family were held hostage at gunpoint, he was kidnapped by the IRA and driven to Flagstaff Hill, where the van he was to drive was loaded with a ton of explosives. He was strapped to the driver's seat and told to drive to the accommodation block at Clog Permanent Vehicle Checkpoint near Forkhill. Before he left, one of the terrorists had a flicker of conscience and whispered to him, "Don't open the door, go out through the window." McAvoy followed this advice and managed to survive with the help of one soldier, Royal Irish Ranger Cyril John Smith, who died saving McAvoy. He was 21 years old and was posthumously awarded the Queen's Gallantry Medal for his bravery. The Omagh attack involved another Catholic man, Noel Brogan, the low-life member of the IRA, who was also forced to drive a van loaded with explosives to the British Army barracks in Omagh. However, his bomb failed to go off because of a faulty switch. No one was killed or injured in this attack. Noel Brogan was sentenced to 14 years for his involvement with the IRA. The proxy bombs of October 1990 caused widespread outrage, especially amongst the Catholic community, the Catholic Church, and even among some IRA supporters. Several more human proxy bombings were planned, but the operations were called off, partly because of the outrage it drew from all sections of the community and the media. Nevertheless, there were a few more traditional proxy bombings in the following months. Bishop Edward Daly, who officiated at Patrick Gillespie's funeral, denounced the IRA, stating that the IRA and its supporters were the complete contradiction of Christianity. They may say they are followers of Christ. Some of them may even engage in the hypocrisy of coming to church, but their lives and their works proclaim clearly that they follow Satan. In memory of Kingsman Private Stephen Beecham, age 20. Kingsman Private Vincent Scott, aged 21. Kingsman Private David Sweeney, aged 19. Kingsman Private Paul Worrell, aged 23. Kingsman Lance Corporal Stephen Burrows, aged 35. Royal Irish Ranger Cyril Smith, QGM, aged 21. Civilian Patrick Gillespie, aged 42. Lest we forget. If you're enjoying our channel, please let us know by clicking on the like, share and subscribe icons below. And thank you for your continued support.